Hi everybody, this is week 13. We are very close to the end of the semester. Just hang in there. This week we will be focusing on functional vision assessments for students with multiple disabilities. So what to do, week 13, readings. So we have this week, mainly we're going to focus on students with multiple disabilities. In my caseload, at least all my students with additional disabilities are CVI. So there is a focus on CVI this week too. So many of you would have already completed your readings on chapter 5 and 6. Make sure you really go through. These are really important chapters. So go through CVI text chapter 5 and 6, which has the FVA and the program intervention. And then there is a link for resources for functional vision assessment that will take you to Perkins School for the Blind website. There are several links in that website. Investigate at least 3 of them, and that's one of your, the discussion this week is to read about one of the links in that in the Perkins website that we already have the link in this week's resources. Just go through one of the resource and write about it. That is the discussion this week. And then we also attached an article on cerebral or cortical visual impairment. It's a great article. It's quite recent. It's 2016. So, and you will see some data in the article about what we discussed a few weeks ago on whether CVI kids should be in the caseload of TVIs or not. So it's quite interesting to read that, and it's pretty recent. So make sure you read that. And then there is, we talked about environments last week. So this week for CVI kids, Diane Sheeline from Strategy to See, there is a website link in Canvas for this. It's classroom environment observation. Go through that. It's quite interesting to see how you can change or observe what kind of environment you need for your student with CVI. And then, so this week you will be writing Brody's FVA based on the video observation notes and medical records and everything. So we have a document attached on tips for writing FVA. It has 5 tips how to write an FVA report, and that we also attached an FVA report example. The example is for an older person with field restrictions. It's quite interesting because it has some pictures, simulation pictures. So look at the example as well. And so the videos this week, I think many of you would have already watched. There is a CVI FVA video from Perkins with Dr. Christine Roman talking about the 10 characteristics of a CVI. It's a 30-minute video, so make sure you watch the entire video. And some of you have already mentioned that you will be doing a CVI range and not the regular FVA, and that's perfectly fine as long as you get all the assistance you need from your TVI. And last week we sent in the announcements on a webinar by AER, an FVA webinar. It's a Zoom session, so all you need is just a computer, and if you register for this, you just click on the link. On Tuesday, November 19th, you'll be able to watch the webinar. It's for an hour and a half, I think. It'll be very useful now that you're in that particular course on the FVA. And activities this week, you have to submit major assignment 3 is due this week, November 24th, Sunday, and poster discussion as usual. Your first discussion should be, you should post your first discussion post by Wednesday night and respond to your peers by Sunday night. And I sent a lot of mails on the final assignment because we got a lot of questions on conducting your own FVA. This is your final assignment, major assignment 4. This is due December 8th. And we also have a page in this week's resources on the steps that you mainly need in order to conduct the FVA. Many of you have already scheduled a visit with the TVI. So that's the first step. The second step, put together all the materials needed for the FVA. You had already written about an FVA kit. You do not need to buy all the materials that you need, but specifically if you go through your student's medical background, what do you need if, say, you're conducting an FVA or CVI range assessment for a kid diagnosed with CVI, you want to make sure you have those bright reflective materials. And if you have a good rapport with your TVI, you can request, because all TVIs will have their own FVA kit, you can ask her if she would be willing to share some of the materials that you need for the assessment. And then make sure you take printouts of all the forms shared in previous weeks for the FVA. And if your vision is kind of compromised, make sure you have a sighted person with you in order to conduct the FVA. And then you will need to submit a short video clip of you doing the FVA just to make sure, because for our purpose, you do not need to show the student face, and it needn't be that long, probably like 2 to 3 minutes, maximum 5 minutes of you conducting the FVA, if in case you don't have permission to show your student's face. Good luck with your final assignment and have fun. And I think you have all the materials you need. Make sure you complete all your readings on the functional vision assessment before you conduct your own assessment. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.